Hi, I'm Daniel Comp. I'm the founder of MENtrepreneurs, and in this short video I'd like to answer the question about why MENtrepreneurs. I mean, I bought the domain in 2004 at the same time that we launched MENtrepreneurs, but here it is 2010 and I'm finally getting off the ground. Well, there's been a lot of personal development and a lot of growth that I've had to go through in order to facilitate MENtrepreneurs. So let me explain that with a couple of resources here. See, one of those is Tribes from Seth Godin. And in Tribes, he says, we need you to lead us. And what he means by that is we don't need you to direct us. We don't need you to manage us. We need you, Daniel, to facilitate us, to help enterprising men have the tools and the capacity to resolve some very critical needs, and I'll explain those in just a second. The other reason that you can have some confidence in following me is from the book Strengthfinders by Tom Rath. And if you'll notice in here that my first strength is achiever, followed by learner and input, and then activator and belief. One of the fundamental premises of MENtrepreneurs is that small business is very personal. In fact, it's called personal enterprise. There's 15 million of us men in America. Half of all the businesses are run solo, without support, without peers around us, without guidance and mentoring, and your ability to deliver in the market is really dependent on factors like how your family's doing, how your relationship with your wife is. Are you stressed out over the banking? Are you worried that what's the next project while you're doing the current project? That's the situation that half of the businesses in the United States are in. 15 million of us face that unknown every single day because we're not part of a team. And the reason why we're not part of a team goes very deep into who we are as a person. Let me explain how I discovered that and how I really believe that that is critical to our success, and it's the foundation of MENtrepreneurs. You see, my childhood was pretty messed up. Like many of you, I grew up with a very strong father wound. What that means is that I had very little guidance. I had very little trust developed in especially authority. I had very little support. And that led me through really not being initiated into manhood. You know, what's our rite of passage in the American culture? Well, you get a driver's license, you get to go to war. Well, that's what I did. So I became involved in the United States Navy, and following that was a period in youth with a mission, or YWAM. And basically what I learned through both of those experiences as veterans of USN and YWAM was to trust in others. You know, how to have someone cover your back, and also the value of mentoring, and how having a strong leader really can help in developing our character. So I came from a lack of guidance, trust, and support, and didn't know where I was in manhood. And I learned through YWAM and in United States Navy about trusting in others and in getting good mentoring. Then I fell off a glacier. I became a quadriplegic. And after committing my life to make a difference, I went through a miraculous healing. And what I learned from that was to start trusting in the unseen world. Some can call it faith. Some can call it, you know, a born-again Christian experience. It could be a bunch of different words. But I started learning that there's more going on in life and business than what we see with our eyes. And that led me into a bunch of self-help work, where I learned a lot about initiation, and I became an avid reader of things that help me with transformation and with self-awareness. So those, along with becoming an entrepreneur, see, at about this time, that's when my entrepreneuring experience happened, sometime back in the 70s and late 70s. And through this process of understanding initiation, personal transformation, and self-awareness, I came into network marketing and technology. So internet starts up, and what do I learn? I learn about the power of networks, and I learn about relationships, and how group strength is developed, and things like group knowledge, group wisdom, those sorts of things. So what you may see through this is the process about how Boeing builds airplanes. You see, they assemble pieces of the aircraft that come from various places. Boeing puts all that together in their factories. They don't actually manufacture it. But imagine a network scattered all over the globe where people are bringing these things together. And that's what I started seeing, that as being self-employed, that I wasn't seeing some of this stuff happen. And that started me some of the early thinking about it. Then I worked in economic development. And within economic development, I learned about things like sustainability, basically how to reverse your mortality rates. This is a little back arrow, how to reverse your mortality rates. So that is done through community support, and it's done through having a network of referrals and a very strong team. And so now you understand that there's at least 5 essential components that we're assembling the MENtrepreneurs network around, and that is guidance, support, access, meaning, and value.